In this video, we're going to take a look at the second example in question number 3. So our instruction is still factor each of the following, but our new expression is 4a squared plus 12a plus 9. So this has 3 terms. It has a squared a and a number, which means it is a quadratic trinomial that we should hopefully be able to factor by decomposition. So anytime we're using decomposition, we are going to try to decompose the middle term and figure out what the 2 like terms were that we put together to get 12a. So how do we do that? There's a clue hiding in the question, and that is our first term and our last term. If I multiply 4 and positive 9, I get 36. So I'm looking for 2 like terms that I combine to get 12, and our clue is that they should also multiply to 36. So in order to find those numbers, we want to focus on the multiplying part. So we want to try to figure out what multiplies to 36 and then check to see if it happens to add to 12. Now, we did our last example using our multiplication grid, and you can absolutely use your multiplication grid for this, but I thought for this one we would try using a calculator to help us out. So if I'm going to use a calculator to help me find the numbers, I usually just make a little chart on the side and I work my way through starting with 1. So I'm going to take the number 1 and I'm going to do 36 divided by 1, which is 36. So 1 times 36 gives me 36. If I add those, I get 37, that's not 12. And if I subtract them, I would get 35, which is also not 12. So then I would move up to 2. So let's try 36 divided by 2. Oops, I hit the wrong button there. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Okay, if I add 2 and 18, I get 20. If I subtract 2 and 18, I get 16. We are getting closer to 12, but we're not there yet. I'm going to try 3 next. So 36 divided by 3 is 12. If I add 12 and 3, I get 15. If I subtract 12 and 3, I get 9. All right, let's try 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9. If I add 4 and 9, I get 13. If I subtract 4 and 9, I get 5. So we still haven't hit 12 yet. All right, let's try 5. 36 divided by 5 is a decimal, so I know that we're going to skip that. Let's move up to 6. 36 divided by 6 is 6. All right, 6 plus 6 is 12, which is that number that we were looking for. So the 2 numbers that we're looking for here are 6 and 6. All right, so I am going to replace the middle term 12a with 6a and 6a. Those are the like terms that we combined to get that middle term. So this is going to be 4a squared, and then these are the same numbers, so it doesn't matter which one I put first. So plus 6a plus 6a, they're both positive, so we're doing plus, and then plus 9. Okay, now that we have 4 terms, we are going to group. So I'm going to group these 2 numbers together, the 2 terms together, into 2 different pairs. So I have 4a squared plus 6a and 6a plus 9. We are going to start with the first one, 4a squared plus 6a. If I look at my multiplication grid, we are looking for something that 4 and 6, right, that divides into both of those numbers. So we're looking for a row on our multiplication grid that has 4 and 6 in the same row. I see them in the row for 1, telling me they both divide by 1. I see them both in the row for 2, so they divide by 2. The last time I see a 4 is in the row for 4, but I don't see 6. So I think 4 and 6, the largest number they divide by is 2. So I'm going to write a 2. And then they both have the letter A. So we're going to take 2 and A as our greatest common factor that we are multiplying by. All right, to figure out what goes in the bracket of our multiplication question, we are going to divide each term by 2a. So 4a squared divided by 2a, 4 divided by 2 is 2. A squared divided by a, I have 2 a's being multiplied. We're taking one of those out when we divide, so we have 2a. 6a divided by 2a, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then a divided by a, we have taken that out. It is gone. We don't need an a in the bracket anymore. All right, the sign that goes in between here is always the sign in between our two pairs, so that plus sign goes right there. And then we're going to take a look at 6a plus 9. So I want to try to see if I can find something that 6 and 9 both divide by. So back to my multiplication grid I go. I see that 6 and 9 both show up in the row for 1, so they both divide by 1. They also divide by 3, and then I don't see them together again after that. So I'm going to say that their greatest common factor is 3. And then we just divide 6a and 9 by 3. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. This has an a. We didn't do anything with the a's, so it stays an a. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So I have 2a plus 3. Now at this point, we should notice that these two brackets are the same. And if they're not, it means we've made a mistake. So either we didn't choose the right numbers or we made a mistake when we were doing our factoring. So here we just have one last step to go to get back to that original multiplication question. Because I have that bracket being repeated, I know that that second bracket was a 2a plus 3. And then I can figure out the first bracket by looking at what we're multiplying by. We are multiplying by 2a and plus 3. Now, I can stop there, and that is perfectly fine, but I do notice that they are the same bracket. And because they're the same bracket, I could go one step further and say that this is 2a plus 3 squared because I am multiplying it by itself. And I'm just writing that same bracket twice. I can shorten it down to just writing it as a square. All right, we're going to give you a little bit of time to try the 6 practice questions on this sheet. Good luck.